In 3, 2, 1, action.
Well, it was welcome to a very tired weekday today. Justin, do you, when Mike does the overlay here, do you try to line it up or how does that work?
I've tried that in the past.
It doesn't.
I've given up.
Is it a key thing? Is it a tempo thing? Like what's the main hang up
I
here?
haven't got any notes yet.
Yeah.
I would like some notes.
Little bit the tempo, but I mean really that would just take a little bit of extra time.
No. Hey, we're turning this thing around, man. Justin, for those of you that don't know, by the way, welcome to the Weekday. It's episode 40-something. You can either watch this on YouTube, or you can watch it on Facebook, or you can watch it on Bayhope TV, or you can watch it, listen to it, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or
how do we get the
Stitcher.
Joe Rogan deal where like we can broadcast our videos on Spotify?
Well, first you got to become... Step one, become famous.
Okay.
Beat up a bunch of people in MMA.
Host Fear Factor.
Step 2, host Fear Factor and put people into things with roaches.
Yeah.
Step 3,
take naps with.
Yeah. Step 3, 15 question marks. Step 4, profit.
Okay. Great.
So, but for those of you that don't know,
what step are we at?
We're halfway to 1.
Okay.
I don't know how many people you've beat up today. Are you?
It depends.
It depends.
It depends on what you define.
Physical beating, not verbal beating.
It's
coming up to 2.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're doing good. Anyway, for those of you that don't know, if you're watching or listening along, I'm Andy. That's Mike.
Hi.
And then we've got our good producer friend, Justin Deal, on the wheels of steel. There he is. And Homeboy turns these things around pretty quickly so that we record this on a Tuesday afternoon and then they come out on a Wednesday morning. And he's faithfully been reproducing that schedule for months now. And so if you could, in your cars or on your runs, or if you're watching this, just give him a hand. Just Justin, thanks for being here today, man. Yeah, welcome. Like I said, this is episode something. We're very tired. At least I'm very tired today. How you feeling?
I feel great.
Do you?
Yeah.
It was a late night last night because Go Bolts.
Man.
And we were recording this on Tuesday, June 22nd of 2021. So we're date stamping it. But my goodness, the Tampa Bay Lightning just decided to take matters into their own hands last night and score more goals than anybody in the world ever.
Yeah.
That was a world record for goals in the playoffs.
Well, it was nuts. Well, if I've learned anything from sports and obviously watching University of Michigan football,
right,
is when you have good games. Kristen thinks it's crazy. Kristen, my wife, you know her.
I know her.
And she thinks it's crazy that I want to watch blowouts.
Oh no, I want to just...
No, I need those are emotional, like investments that I put in to my brain when things go bad.
Because the hard times will come.
Because yes, it will happen when I don't want to watch it anymore. But it's like, you know what? I've watched the blowouts.
Right.
I need to sit here or even once it's tense or whatever.
Yep.
I bask in the glow of emotionally demoralizing people.
Right.
So,
and that's what happened last night. I mean, you could watch the New York Islanders, all of their fans. You could feel, I specifically remember in one of the breaks, on the third goal, I think, the one that slipped through the keeper's legs or the goalie's legs.
Yeah.
Some guy with like long Wild Bill hair gets up and just slams his hat on the ground.
It was at a watch party in New York.
In New York, just got up and slammed his thing and then left.
Yeah.
It was
they showed
what is going on here?
In the highlights, they showed him 3 times. So like he did after the third goal, he took his jersey off, slammed his hat down, and then got up and walked away.
Yep.
And then the very next goal that happened, like 5 minutes later, same thing. Hat down, jersey off, slammed the jersey down. And then the lady who was doing the highlights, she says, "We'll see more from him later." They came back at like the 7th when they scored the 7th goal, and he did the same thing, but like it was a little like more like just slower.
Yeah, like resigned to it. like he hadn't carb loaded the night before.
I have to do this because I've done it every time now.
Well, that and his friends are probably tweeting him and messaging him like, hey, Bill, you're on TV.
That's true. Real-time meta narratives.
Right. So in the interest of Go Bolts, Go Lightning, and also this is Mike's new favorite segment.
I would love to see how fast we could make this.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We're going to be tasting a Powerade Zero Sugar. This is also courtesy of Elena, one of our faithful watchers, right? Watcher or listener?
Yes, watcher.
Okay, cool. And so we're going to taste this Zero Sugar. It says mixed berry, but you and I both know that Powerade Blue never tastes like mixed berry. So here, we're going to try this.
It tastes like blue. You know what it looks like? It looks like
That's quite refreshing, actually. Now, I will tell you why it was quite refreshing, but I don't mind
looks
it.
like wiper fluid.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. It doesn't taste like it.
Looks like antifreeze.
I've actually,
What?
Yeah.
Where is this going?
Do you want to hear the story real quick? So 2 things happened. I had my son, we bought a 2006 Ford Escape that I drove around for about a year.
You guys went in on it together, like a 50-50 split?
We split it.
Yeah.
No, we bought this and it's a beater. I mean, I love this thing. It's a tank, but it's also a beater. And when I was in Georgia, we were living in Georgia and I was fixing, something happened with one of the clamps on the radiator hose. And so I fixed it and I thought it was cool enough and it was not cool enough.
Right.
So it sprayed all over me.
Yeah.
The radiator fluid did.
Right.
And that stuff's hot.
Yeah.
And so it hit my face and I thought I was dying. Walked inside. I was fine. It hit me on like the goatee area. And so you couldn't see any burn marks, which is great. 2 weeks later, I was out fixing almost the same exact thing with the windshield wiper hoses, which are very small in comparison. I mean, they're like, the 1/2-inch ones or whatever. Same exact thing. There was something clogged in it or whatever. This time it went into my mouth.
Oh, cool.
Windshield wiper fluid went into my mouth.
Hey,
it does not taste like a Powerade mixed berry. I will tell you.
I didn't think that's where that story was going, but that's really good to know.
It's gross.
That you should not drink. This is, my camera. You should not drink windshield wiper fluid.
Yes.
Based on Pastor Andy.
However, if you do need a Powerade Zero after you do strenuous activities like running 5 miles this morning and then doing something called the monkey dance, which we're going to talk about in a second, I do recommend this. I don't usually get down on the 0-calorie Powerades or Gatorades.
Yeah.
But like right now, I feel like I need it. So we're going to talk about something today. And to preface this, I'm going to do a hot take. We're gonna do part of our hot take segment early.
We'll start hot takes early,
right? If that's okay with the preceding or the presiding judges.
We call it a start take.
Ooh, Stark take.
I don't know.
Okay,
just workshopping something here live.
I like it. In the interest of the minimal amount of prep that we actually did for this one today, which we did the minimal amount of prep. Yep. And also in the interest of pulling back the curtain just a little bit on church life, because that's what we do. We are the #1 podcast to do that in the world. My hot take is this, and thank you for focusing on my camera preemptively, Justin.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. Vacation Bible School is both painful and awesome all at the same time. Let's discuss.
Okay. I hated Vacation Bible School growing up.
Yes. And I will join you in that hatred as well.
I feel like I was a 65-year-old man in Vacation Bible School.
Explain.
Just like, this is all nonsense. This is all, this is malarkey. Like that kind of thing.
Did you feel like the games were beneath you and the snacks were beneath you?
I didn't like any of the crafts that we did.
Nope.
They all
fell apart.
I never liked the Bible stories.
Yep.
I was never really into like any of the production stuff. I was like, oh, that's a robe he's wearing.
It's a fake beard.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry's wearing a fake beard.
I know who that is. That's
I can see the string.
That's James. I see him every weekend.
Yeah, he plays guitar.
Yeah. I never liked any of the music.
Nope.
It was always and this is maybe like a little hot start take 1A, 1B.
We're 8 minutes and 15 seconds in, so sure, yes.
A mid take. Kids' music in general to me is a waste of time.
Like Kids Bop?
Like just kids' music in general. I feel like we grew up on good music. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, from our parents. Yes. I'm like not the kids.
No, not that. No.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up on kids' music for the most part.
No, we grew up on good music.
Like we listened to Sesame Street a little bit, but we were 3. Like that's different. Yeah. But my son Caleb, my oldest, he's in 1st grade. I don't want him listening to kid music. Like we listen to actual music in the house, and like if we're listening to music, it's actual music.
Right.
It's very similar to like the idea that there's Christian art and like non-Christian art,
secular art.
Yeah, like it's all art. So I don't know. But anyways, I did not like VBS music growing up. It always felt really long, and
your coffee mug had a cool little wobble there. You put it right in the depression on the table.
Nice. So I don't know. But I do remember. I remember growing up in that church up in Michigan.
Oh my gosh, I want to talk about this.
Okay, let's talk about it. Talk about it. Go for it.
So I don't know what you remember, and I don't know
I
how
remember.
much.
I remember three things, and I'll say.
Okay, and I kind of remember three things too. So we grew up in the great state of Michigan until I was 12, and you were 9.
8.
That's right. It would have been right before your birthday. So when we moved down here to Florida, we had left a church. But the church that we were going to was not the church that we did Vacation Bible School at. And so the rest of this episode today is going to be kind of memories, but also discussion of kids-related activities, just so you know where we're headed here.
Yeah, I want to talk about VBS that's happening here.
Right, and that's ultimately where we're going to go.
Yeah.
But however, I think we need to stop because this church that we went to was in the middle of the city, or when it was kind of a smaller city, and it was a decent-sized church from what I remember.
Talking about Central?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not in Flint, in Graham Lake. The church you're talking about.
Okay.
Church I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I remember three things. Number one, we'll go back and forth here.
Okay.
Number one, I remember the opening music portion being awful.
I don't remember. Keep going about it. I don't remember anything about it.
Okay. It was the singers were always, and this is me as like a 10-year-old or whatever.
You were much older than we were.
And we had been doing music stuff for 5 or 6 years at that point. The singers were never on time.
Okay.
Ever. And it was like, that was back in tape era. And so you almost had to you could hear them fast forwarding and rewinding the tape, which was awful. That was exactly it. And so the songs were the same, like 2 or 3 songs. So that's number one. Number two, then we would go outside and there would be a Jerusalem. Yeah. There was a Jerusalem thing. Is that where you're going with this?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So do you want to give me your first memory of Jerusalem outside?
Well, I remember it being like almost like a tent city. Yep. Like it to me, being like 5, 6, 7, however old I was, it was huge.
A carnival.
Yeah, it was like a Mideastern bazaar.
Yeah.
Like it was this marketplace. And I remember we got like beans.
Oh my
Is
gosh!
that right?
Yes, like actual hard beans.
Yeah, we got beans.
Those were our money.
Yeah, we would bargain for them. And I remember one thing, there was like a rope making station.
Dude, I'm literally going there too. I was literally going there.
So it was something about like, oh, this is what people did in old times, was they made rope out of like
waxy string.
Well, it was nylon. Like, I'm pretty sure they didn't make it out of nylon. But and then there was a brick making station. I remember that. I remember that. Sorry, keep going.
No. You go. I want to know if you're going to go there.
And then I remember outside of the market, there was like an actual time where we learned like a Bible story or whatever. But they would always make like bread.
Bisquick bread. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And I don't know why. Why would they make bread?
Because that was the time I looked forward to.
Oh yeah. It was wonderful.
It was the only time you got it wasn't even a good snack. It was literally,
it's like tiny, chunky little Midwesterners, like bread. Yeah, sure. Give it to me.
Bread and water. Like that's all I need. Or gallons of milk.
Milk. Yeah. Bread and milk.
But all they had is like Bisquick. Yeah. Like the Bisquick boxes.
Yeah, it was like the stuff that the branding hasn't changed in like 70 years.
It's the same, been the same since the Mad Men era. Yeah. And they would make these big, gigantic, like loaves, like circular loaves, and then they would pass them around the group, and every kid with their grubby hands would grab just a hunk of bread. And I would always sit next to the teacher because I knew that next to the teacher, she wouldn't want any more of that. And so I would get all of it. And I would have like the rest. Half a loaf of bread to myself. Yeah. Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah. The last thing I really remember from that is one of the Bible teachers had a hat with a pig on it. And
what?
Yeah. Just listen. It had a hat with a pig on it. And I asked him what the hat was. And he said, oh, it's for Pink Floyd. And yeah, War Pig or something, isn't that something?
Animals.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, those are the 3 things. Making rope from a guy dressed in like probably in 2021 an insensitive like Middle Eastern garb.
100%. Yep. Not at all politically correct.
Some white German, Scotch, Irish, whatever. Like
yep, named Lloyd.
Yeah. And then making bricks, having bread. And then the Pink Floyd hat.
Cool. Yeah. That was my second one, was kind of the entire bazaar. Yeah. The third one was, and this was odd, I thought, we would end on like a Friday or a Thursday, but then we would go back at night.
Yeah, for like a performance. I sort of remember this.
A performance thing, and then Mom and Dad walked around with us, and I remember I got I think I got a Bible, or maybe like a New Testament or something.
Yeah.
And it was one of the very small ones. Like I had won it for the amount of beans that I got or something stupid like that. And the only thing I remember is I had that thing up until we moved.
Really?
Yeah, like I remember cleaning out my closet and I found that Bible. Like 2 years later, I never opened it because I could barely read it. I was 10 and I had bad eyesight. Right. But it was just such a weird thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then we kind of moved down here, and I kind of want to get to that in a second. Justin, talk to me about Vacation Bible School, because we were talking about this off camera, and talk to me about your experience.
Oh, well, because I didn't do like a whole lot of like Vacation Bible School and stuff, but from what I do remember, I just remember I was at this church doing their thing, and I remember one day I'm not sure the story behind it or whatever. They were trying to teach something.
Welcome to VBS.
Sure, but it was like but it was a Western theme. Not really sure why it was a Western theme.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
There's only three main themes, right?
Yeah.
There's jungle.
Yeah, jungle, Western.
Or retro.
Retro, yeah.
Ooh,
Nowadays,
I guess it doesn't really need to have a reason behind it. But yeah, it was a Western theme. And I just remember we were sitting all like in a sanctuary area. And it was just like a regular teaching that was going on. It was just somebody kind of like talking to us and everything. And then in the middle, it was completely scripted. But I was too young to really know otherwise.
Right.
And
they got you. They got you good.
They too good.
The magic of Vacation Bible School.
Well, because everything just seemed so normal. They're just like telling us a story about like, something in the Bible. And then all of a sudden, somebody dressed as a cowboy and, with like one of those like horse sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He comes in with like two other people and they're all like chasing each other with cap guns. And they're shooting off the cap guns. I was terrified. I had no idea what was going on, but that is pretty much the only thing that I remember from like really like, because that I feel like has just like dominated all of the other like stories from like Vacation Bible School and like doing stuff like that.
Isn't that's the impact VBS made on it.
Yeah. Vacation Bible School, awesome and terrible all at the same time.
I just, what's funny is I'm thinking about themes, because we're talking about themes and how many over the years, like, and I made that comment about somebody being like insensitive, wearing something insensitive.
Oh yeah.
But I remember like going back in my mind now, working in church now for, 15 some odd years now, remembering, especially at a church I used to be at, this wasn't just them, this was programs sold by like publishers or whatever, say, this is what you do. And I remember one that was Asian.
Oh, no.
It was Asian themed, and I remember like people dressing up in Asian costumes with Asian accents.
Did they do like white faces too, like kabuki?
No, they didn't go that far.
Okay,
but like this was not that long ago. And the main song of that was something about like a rickshaw rally or something. And I'm thinking about this as we're talking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I could not imagine.
Different times, huh?
It's just it was not that long ago.
Well, we're not, first of all, we're not that old anyway for a lot of this, but cool. So we bring all of this up to say that we're not doing stuff like that here, hopefully this year. So for the uninitiated, there are people that listen to the weekday that have been in churches for a long time, and you will have your own memories of Vacation Bible School. And please, please, please drop those in the comments and let us know, because I love reading those. Well,
I say I feel like you and I both, I'm not going to speak for you, but I kind of am. We're saying all this stuff, these funny, quirky things, whatever. Obviously, like, we work in a church, and we are still believers, and whether or not we remember someone potentially being murdered, like Justin. Justin also has a very, like, he believes in Jesus and is currently like influencing the kingdom of God here on earth. So like at some level, possibly unconscious or in our subconscious somehow, like it has affected all of us.
Maybe it was the story that happened like before all of the... Yeah.
That's what really made it lock in place, Yes. They talk about Jesus and then there's a potential crime happening and you'll never forget it.
And then that's when you really call on him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like, do you remember anything from that story? Do you remember anything they were teaching?
You know, I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
See, but I think it goes. There's something about, because I think that there's a lot of churches that do Vacation Bible School, and I think what we're going to talk about involves like what we're doing, and I think what we're doing is like really cool, but it's not to diminish what other churches are doing or what they have done in the past, because it's a lot of the times, and I think we've talked about this, but I've heard some people say this around here. A lot of times, it's not actually what you do or what you say. It is the experience surrounding it that people truly remember. It's who you're with. It's the experience surrounding it. And if we can involve people in the church and at some level continue to get better at communicating Jesus to children and teenagers and all that kind of stuff, there's something to build on.
Right.
But yes.
And that's again, going back to the point of this episode, but also the point of the weekday, really.
Yeah. We
lampoon church culture sometimes. Sometimes we have a little bit of fun at church culture's expense because I think there's a lot that we can have fun with.
Yeah. That's just where we're weird people sometimes.
Most of the time.
Most people are weird. And then,
Right. And then we just get to talk about that. But the transition point, kind of the not so smooth segue is that we have been doing Vacation Bible School here for 2 days. Yeah. But realistically, how long has VBS been going on here at the church?
Oh, well,
hundreds of years.
Well, at this church specifically?
Yeah. Hundreds of years, every single summer. Well, Austin, did you do VBS when you were here? So in Austin's 22?
Well, and it used to be called Kids Camp.
Right. Sports camp.
Sorry, sports camp.
Sports camp.
And it used to be like more of a sports theme type thing.
Right.
And then they would have, they still have main sessions like we do. It just, I think even for like branding, we just like VBS, that's what people understand and are looking for.
Right.
Sports camp doesn't mean anything to anybody.
There's 3 things that we're doing intentionally or unintentionally. I would hopefully say intentionally to differentiate what we're doing here at VBS from what we all grew up with.
Yeah.
Number 1, we're being very intentional about the music, which I want you to speak on in a second. Number 2, we are being very intentional about sort of the activity area. It's not, there's no bread and all that. I mean, maybe there is, but they
do have snacks.
They do have snacks, but COVID is kind of restricting that. And number 3, the experience around everything is up. It is light. Yeah. It is fun. It is joyful. It is colorful. This is my second year doing VBS here because we were going to do it last year and it had to be virtual. My second one doing it here.
Live
in
person.
Yes. Bay Hope does it differently than every other church I've ever been a part of, because there is so much more thought taken to the experience from parking lot to going home for the parent, for everything. Yeah. And we all have our foibles and faults and failings and all that other stuff. But the overall experience from us has to be, how can we let the parents and the children experience a win? Yeah. So talk about the music real quick, because that is a huge part of what's going on.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, up until 2 years ago, so 2019, I really wasn't involved with the music at all.
Right.
And, I had only been here, I'd been here less than 5 years at that point. And, but 2019, there was like some changeover in the kids ministry. And we sort of decided like pretty last minute, like within the last 2 or 3 weeks of before VBS starts, like, we don't have anything for music. It's like, sure, let's go. So we Andre was here at the time and he could play drums, and between a bunch of us, it's like, oh, we got a band covered. Like, let's just.
I played.
Yeah. And you'd been on staff for a month at that point.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. And it was just like, you know what? Like, we're gonna bulldoze this thing. Like, we are gonna strong arm this thing, and it's gonna be awesome. We wore, Super Mario costumes and all that kind of stuff. But I think from that point, it was this. In my head, I was like, we need to do more with kids music.
Yep.
And full disclosure, it scares me to do, because it's very much out of my realm. Kids music is. And
okay, just explain the difference in your head between kids music and quote unquote adult music.
Well, to
not
me,
lyrically,
yes,
but
so to me, it's a very thin line of how do you make music that is because even though all this stuff I said about kids music, I don't want to make kids pop, but I also don't want to make Death Cab for Cutie Radiohead, for kids. My they will check out from that. So how do I make? Pop music is to this day and it is like pretty much the lowest common denominator.
Correct.
And I don't mean that in a negative way at all.
Nope.
So how do we make good pop music for kids to engage with actual worship music that we're singing on the weekends or that they're singing in students, and create this sort of, what have I called it? Like vertical integration is it like for ages.
I was going to say pyramid of excellence.
Yeah. But no, so what adults are singing or what students are singing or what kids are singing, and then it works itself back up too.
Sure.
And so the context in how we communicate those things and how we package them and deliver them can look different in certain ways, but we don't need to dumb down content because we don't think kids can understand that. Like, I think that's false. So like this morning we sang Who You Say I Am, which is a song we sing on the weekend, which is a song they sing in students.
Right.
And the truth is the same. We are children of God. We're chosen, like not forsaken, all that kind of stuff. Like those are things I want my 3-year-old, my 7-year-old, and I mean, Alec, she literally can't sing right now. So
she can try.
But even still, like I want those truths washing over her. Like you don't need to. So to me, it's a different way of recontextualizing the music. And so, I think it's a trap that we get into, like, oh, well, we have to make this like, I want to make it fun and I want to make it catchy, but like, I also want to make it true and like meaningful. So that's kind of like the tiny little like shift that we've made out. So like we're doing God, I Look to You song we do on the weekend. Erica wrote a song called Hallelujah for Life, which is amazing.
Yep.
It's so good.
Yep.
And we're doing that. And, it's relatively simple, but the truths are still weighty and meaningful.
Yep.
And it's not just some throwaway song, like get up out of your seats and let's jump around. Like I cannot stand kids music like that, especially in the church. Like yes, you want to get them activated and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. And it doesn't prepare even kids' hearts to start to engage with like, what does it look like to actually worship God in these moments?
100%.
Yeah. So,
and then we have on the other side of that, the monkey dance.
Yeah.
The monkey dance. The reason that I am drinking Powerade Zero because of my electrolytes is the monkey dance is a, if you follow us on our socials, you'll be able to see it. I'm sure we're going to be posting clips all throughout the rest of this week as well at Bay Hope Church or our personal socials. But it is basically just 3 minutes of jump squats.
It's high intensity.
Yeah, it's high intensity intervals and jumping around to some pretty hardcore EDM, like grungy distortion, like feeds my metal part.
Yeah.
The
aggression.
Just like the Metallica part of me just goes, yes, let's go. And then I was out of breath and had to go back and play bass for a little bit.
Eric had to sing. I felt bad for her.
I didn't feel bad for her. She's young.
Well, but like I think
I am gonna do an Apple Watch workout tomorrow to see calories, see how high my heart rate gets.
But I do think like that's an important thing. Like the monkey dance is nothing. Like
it's legitimately just
and we
moving.
all agree that this is just chaos and it's fun and it gets kids up out of their seats and gets them engaged and like it's just nuts. Like it's just nuts and it's funny and whatever. To me, like I don't want that a part of my worship music. Or not, not my worship music, but like if we're going to have a worship set, the monkey dance does not need to be a part of the worship
Sunday
set.
morning in a normal service.
Well, it does. That is something specific and it's intentional. And like we're dancing, we're getting crazy, we're getting the wiggles out, whatever. And then we can move into like an actual intentional time of fun music, catchy music. Right. But it's worship music.
Right.
We don't need to cross mix those two at all. Like those can be two totally different things, but still also very engaging and contextualized, but it doesn't need to be like mixed together.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about the experience portion of it as well, because I think that is something that, and I'm going to be 100% or 100% honest, continually amazes me about the church is that tech things can be blowing up and we can be running all over the place like chickens with our heads cut off. But there is an intentionality towards parents. So even like we go out there, we get here real early in the morning and I go out there and there's already coffee made. Like that, a little thing, but like that's a huge thing. And then it's light and it's bright. The music out there that's playing through the lobby is light and bright. There's a photo booth out there. You know, it's there's
all
a
the
real
decor and everything.
Yeah, all the decor and all of the like now we're doing costumes apparently tomorrow, which is going to be totally rad. And I'm going to die from heat exhaustion. But that type of thing, like that's a behind the scenes thing at Bay Hope Church that you might not recognize, or you might not intentionally like or consciously go, oh, I see what they're doing. But you can walk onto this campus and go, oh, there's something different. And that bleeds through on a Sunday. I mean, if you were here for Father's Day on the Lakeshore campus and on the West Chase campus too, we had putting greens set out. You know, there's an intention, there's a thought behind it. And that's really cool. Not a lot of churches do that.
Well, and something that as I get older, obviously now that I have kids going through Vacation Bible School, and I mean, you have two, but I mean, your kids are a little older going through Riot. But it's very similar to the same thing. Like, this is what it looks like to have, or part of what it looks like, and it's very visible to have the church activated and to have like this multi-generational thing that's happening. Even though this is for kids technically, it's also for parents. And it's also because the parents...
That's a good observation.
Yeah, because the parents get to be involved with this sort of thing. Like my wife, Kristen.
I know her.
Yeah. She absolutely loves being a part of Vacation Bible School. Like she always, I mean, she's a teacher. Like that's what her degree is in, elementary education. So I think it gives her a little bit of a time to sort of flex that muscle a little bit. But she's just stories upon stories about kids in her group. And this kid got up to pray, and it was amazing.
That's cool.
You know, this other person got up to share, and it was so cool. You know, like there's so many different things that it touches so many different people. And even though like this is a church sanctioned event or whatever, and you know, it is one facet of the church that reminds people that like, hey, like this is what it feels like to be active as the church. Yeah.
One other thing before we kind of get out of here too, we're doing something a little bit different with our digital presence with VBS this year. We're actually taking some of our live things and we're going to be doing a virtual VBS, another actual virtual VBS. Justin, can you talk to me about kind of like what it's been like so far on the other side of the camera as you're kind of shooting and taking care of the visual side here?
Yeah. So, I mean, well, it's cool because we have, you know, two physical campuses, but then we also have the online campus, which is
arguably the best campus.
Oh yeah.
Arguably.
But yeah,
it's one of the three best. Four technically.
So basically, we've been like shooting some of the like the worship sets and everything for VBS, like, you know, this week, because for the online campus that's actually happening later on, next week, and or wait, no,
July starts July 1.
Yeah, true. I had to think like, wait, what day is
That's
it?
Okay.
Technically, no, it starts on Thursday. July 1st is
we're
Thursday.
offering it all throughout the month of July.
Okay, cool.
It's on demand.
I got you.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, so it's kind of cool because they're getting like some of like the physical part of it without actually physically being there.
Sure.
And so they can still see like the physical worship and everything that went on. And then we also shot some segments of like for like the intros to the videos and stuff, and we, you know, put all those together, and I've been putting those together for the past month, and so I'm excited for it because it's a different experience because it's a different campus, and so I think that it needs to be a different experience because of that, just because it's such a different medium, but I'm excited.
Yeah, and he gets to make it look all pretty and stuff, which he's really good at. The coolest thing about the online thing that's happening too is that you can do both. You can do the one here on Lakeshore and do the online one, and you're going to have a totally different experience because there's take-home crafts and take-home activities and take-home teachings, and it's the same general theme,
right?
Same general thing that's happening.
All same teachings to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent. But you know, one of my favorite things to do is to like watch live music. And like as a kid, I'd sit my kids down if they're young enough and be like, hey, we're going to do VBS Day for an hour.
Right.
And then we're going to watch the music and we're going to do the crafts because everything's linked here. So that's cool. That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Anything else about VBS?
No, I mean, it's been fun.
I'm very tired. I am very tired.
It's from the monkey dance.
Yeah, it's that, but it's been a crazy couple of weeks. I mean, we had Riot.
Yeah, Riot. And the camp season is a different kind of tired. I like being this kind of tired.
This tired, yes. I don't like the other, like, mentally.
Well, yeah, last year I feel like we were tired on like a very different level.
Adrenal fatigue.
Yeah, this is a totally different and feels more normal and natural. Yep. And if I'm going to be tired, like I want to be tired because I want
to go home and have my brain want to shut down.
Yeah, last year I feel like we got tired, and just like most people, I mean, you're tired because something is draining you. Because like we've talked about it a bunch, but every day felt like a week.
Yep.
And this doesn't feel like that. This feels like I'm doing stuff. I am like it's the instant reward of like being able to do it in front of people with people.
Yep.
And yeah, that feels so much better.
Yeah,
it feels so much better, and it feels good for the church. Even though like I'm so grateful for our online campus and think that we need to continue to do things with and for our online campus.
Here.
But as part of our strategy, not as the only part of our strategy.
Yes.
You know, and so like this feels good to be just in a more normal rhythm of being like this is part of who we are.
Yeah, you know? I mean, it was literally our only strategy.
Yeah. Which was great. Ago. It was great that we had that, but temporary.
Even I, as the leader of that, don't want that to happen.
We need a both and for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Justin, what about you? Anything from VBS? Past, present, future?
Past, present. I mean, I like it. I like how you kind of summed it up with, or really what you said at the beginning, where it's painful but awesome at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't even say it's a bad kind of painful.
No,
it's like a good. It's like it's
worth it.
Tiring.
Yeah.
That's probably how I would say tiring, but good.
Wandering through the streets of Jerusalem that are in a little town called Grand Blanc, Michigan. That might be terrible. Maybe the bread was the only redeeming thing.
You know what though? Like so much of, and this will be the last thing I say, but so much of our bad experiences, our negative experiences, like fuel me to make it better. Like I am on a quest to redeem children's music in my eyes. Like I do not care if anybody else thinks it's good or whatever, but like in my head, I'm going to make kids music that I would have wanted to listen to as a kid. And I tested it on my kids and they really like it too, but
well,
I'm trying to redeem that. Like horrible's like, oh, not again, another kid's song.
It's funny though. I keep going back to this in my own head, but the song that came out of kind of the curriculum material, you redid it, and it's so much more fun.
It feels really fun to play.
It is so much more. Like we were watching the video back today, and you did this like. You were doing the Corey Wong shimmy during the kind of breakdown part, or right after the breakdown part, and it was like, you know what, that feels good, and it's fun to play. Like for me as a bass player, playing with the new, who's the drummer's great, Andrew. Like it's just fun for me to sit back there and chill and just watch everything happening. It's great, cool. Let's move into segments. We've got 2 segments here, and one of them might be contentious.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're gonna move into hot takes.
Okay.
So, do you have a hot take?
No, because you said you had one, and I want to hear it.
Okay. Let's do this. Let me get in the right frame of mind. I don't want to offend you, Michael.
What? Don't worry about me.
I always worry about you.
This is what a hot take is, though. It offends somebody. You can't have a non-offensive hot take.
Yeah, you can.
No, you absolutely cannot. That's my hot take. Bring it here. A hot take will always be offensive.
Mildly offensive.
It leads to arguing. That's what a hot take is.
Okay, here we go. Ready? I just don't like arguing. I don't like conflict.
Well, then we shouldn't do hot takes.
But I like hot takes.
All right.
Because sometimes it's fake hustle. Like I'm going to slap the floor fake hustle.
High engine.
Yeah, high motor. Jim Rat. And here's my hot take. We just got an email about an all-staff thing that involves Chili's, and I think out of the what's the classification of Chili's? Like casual,
middle class, fancy.
Okay,
yeah.
Out of that ilk. So we're talking the TGI Fridays, the Ruby Tuesdays, the Chili's is the worst out of all of those.
Oh my gosh! I want to throw this microphone across the room.
Chili's is the worst out of all of those.
Defend yourself right now.
Every time I have gone to Chili's in the past 15 years.
Nope. This is anecdotal. Throwing it out.
That's a hot take. What do you want?
Keep going. Every time you've gone there the past 15 years.
It's expensive.
No, it's not.
It is expensive. I have
it's nowhere near
really bad stomach issues every single time I go.
Well, that's on you. Keep going.
It's not on me. Why? I've tried different things.
It absolutely is on you. Keep going.
It is. I hate the way it tastes. Everything is incredibly salted. It's like they take the margarita salt and they just rub it into everything.
That is true. Yes,
including all of their desserts.
Yeah, you get a army platoon's worth of salt in one meal.
Every single meal. They keep changing the French fries. They keep changing the chips. They keep changing the things that are actually working. And you find a good deal. They were doing during COVID, they were doing a 2 for $20 thing. It was great. It was amazing.
They always do a 2 for $20 thing, Andy.
They don't have the same foods on there anymore, Mike.
I'm so upset right now.
They do not have the Southwest chicken on there.
Aren't they still doing the 2 for $20?
They always do a 2 for $20, but they keep removing the good food.
I don't think they do.
It's like for them, it's like fish of the week that they're just trying to get rid of whatever's in their closet.
Here's the deal. Chili's is not like Michelin star rated, and I will concede that point. But if you're talking those like mid-level, casual,
TGI Fridays is better than Chili's.
Absolutely not. How dare you?
TGI Fridays is better.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever had a salad from Chili's? It's awful.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
You get like 4 pieces of lettuce, 2 pieces of corn.
Get this noise out of here.
And half of a chicken
Chili's
breast.
is the best out of all of those restaurants.
False.
No. What are you talking about?
False.
TGI Fridays is awful. It's so bad.
Actually, the best one out of all of them is Ruby Tuesday because the salad bar.
I swear to God, if you were going to say Applebee's,
no, that's the second
Ruby
worst.
Tuesdays doesn't even count. No one goes to Ruby Tuesdays. They're not even around anymore.
Yes, they are.
No, they aren't.
Every single time we go to Georgia, we stop at the one.
Great, you went to Georgia. Congratulations.
Every single time we were driving from Georgia.
Chili's is in every city imaginable.
What does that so are cockroaches. What does that tell you?
Yeah, cockroaches will be here long after you and I are.
Right, doesn't mean I want to eat them. I'm allergic to cockroaches. 100%.
No, Chili's is the best. The chips.
We just totally clipped all of our audio, by the way.
Chips and salsa at Chili's are the primary reason Chili's ranks above and beyond any of those restaurants.
You can get chips and salsa at Applebee's. You can get it at Fridays.
No, it is not bottomless, and it does not have the same cachet that it happens.
The cachet is salt. It's just salt.
Well, then wonderful. Then they should put more salt on them and make it more available for people to buy them.
There's a salt shaker right there.
I will die on this hill that Chili's is far and away the best of those options. Case in point,
I disagree.
No,
this is my hot take, and I do what I want.
Chili's is so much better than TGI Fridays.
I disagree.
Applebee's is like you might as well just go to the dumpster and like just pick food out of the dumpster.
I agree with that.
There's another hot take.
That's not a hot take. That's truth.
Justin, what say you?
About Applebee's or Chili's?
Okay, what's your top? What's your top out of those restaurants? TGI Fridays or Chili's? Justin, what is it?
So here's the thing. I don't think my experience with TGI Fridays
we're gonna end this
frozen stuff that they have.
That's every restaurant.
Chili's.
I'm talking about like that you get at Publix.
Chili's sells everything frozen.
I've never eaten at TGI Fridays, but I have eaten at Chili's.
And
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You guys like frozen foods.
Above Ruby Tuesdays for sure.
What's that?
Sure. Definitely above Ruby Tuesdays.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not even,
Ruby Tuesday has that salad bar though.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, they do.
No, that's the thing that COVID killed.
Among many things that killed the salad bar. It's the only reason to go to Ruby Tuesday, by the way. That and they got a really good mushroom Swiss burger. Okay, now that I feel like we've put enough dissension in the room, we need to go to our podcast pop quiz. You can give me the cold freaking shoulder all day. I'm fine with that. You look like you're simultaneously about to cry and laugh at the same time.
This is from someone who is on the road a lot. Chili's was like a haven to us. It was like this place.
That's your own experience.
This isn't. It's not Wendy's, so it's like a little fancier. And anytime the 2 for $20 thing, I mean that was a lifesaver for us on the road.
For you, but every time I've gone to Chili's in the past 10 or 15 years, I have gastrointestinal distress.
Well, it's because you went to Chili's. Those restaurants will do that to you. The amount of salt This is too long. We're doing this too much.
No, we can continue this
I don't wanna do
and
it.
jump into the comments and let me know what your top 3 is out of the mid-casual. Outback doesn't count.
Mid-class fancy.
Outback doesn't count.
Why doesn't Outback count?
Outback is, I feel like, a higher tier.
Yeah, it's a step above for
It's
sure.
steakhouse.
Yeah.
It's a higher tier.
It's not a steakhouse.
They
It's
say
just
Outback
because it's in
Steakhouse.
the name.
But it's pricing wise. I feel like it's a half a step up. It's not Burns.
Yeah,
It's
agree.
not like Marlowe's.
Would you? Okay.
What?
Marlowe's. Ooh, Marlowe's.
Marlowe's great.
I
Those
love
chickpea
Marlowe's.
fries. Okay, man, I'm so hungry. All right, we gotta do a podcast pop quiz. We've been going for a while. Sorry, guys. This is supposed to be a short episode. Podcast pop quiz. What do we got? I did last week's.
Austin, you got some good ones.
He's got a smirk on his face.
What is it?
Car key battery removal.
Car key battery
Whoa.
removal. All right, that's good. All right, hands are off the laptop
That
here. We're
seems-
gonna put 30
that
seconds
seems
right
Very
there
specific.
on 3, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Here we go. Is this something that you looked up already?
I love it.
All right, car key
During the
battery
podcast.
removal.
How to fix a key
Nice-
pop.
No, yeah, because it sounds more like a YouTube video.
Best of car talk.
Best of car talk.
Yep. Too many keys on her key ring.
Boom, nailed it.
I mean, we did it.
I think
It's an NPR podcast too.
And it's within the podcast, but there is a podcast technically about removing.
a car key battery.
Yep.
Yeah, they even talk
Wow.
about sparks of bad ideas, Buick Regals.
Yeah, it's a podcast for everything, guys.
Wow.
It's a podcast for everything.
I thought I stumped you guys.
No, you didn't. You stumped us, but you didn't stump NPR. You could never stump
you
NPR.
didn't stump the white people who do podcasts.
The
so.
National Public Radio will always succeed. Hey, thanks for joining us on this meandering episode of the Weekday. We hope you guys get some rest and go Bolts.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Bay Hope TV. Be sure to like and share these videos with your friends, as it really does help this channel out. And be sure to subscribe for more Bay Hope TV content. As always, thanks for watching.